Hello, Abigail here with the tarot energy reading for this week. I do have a longer video on the astrology over on the long form place. However, just so you know, we have a couple of hefty Venus squares and also a Mercury retrograde, among other things. And our first card is pretty poignant, and we have mostly major arcana, so that tells you anything. So we have the Fool as our first card. This feels very much like Venus entering into a new sign. It reminds us that Uranus is at the beginning degrees of Gemini, and also very much feels like a representation of the energy runoff from that new moon that was trine our Saturn Neptune over in Aries. And those Venus squares are with Saturn and Neptune. So this is a moment of newness and shifts and change. What I encourage you to do, especially since we're in a Mercury retrograde, is just put one foot forward and to move slowly but surely in the direction that you want. The Fool obviously leaps, but sometimes the Fool shimmies its way up to the edge of that cliff. So I encourage you to shimmy this week. And then we do have the Five of Pentacles. Disappointment lurks this week. It's okay. It's disappointment in order to process what we're going through, in order to understand what our values are, and to recognize where things are working and where they're not working. But it still hurts to invest in something and to feel like it's not quite giving you the return that you want, and that you're not quite being able to flourish in the way that you need to. Know that this is very much being in the middle of the astrology of 2025, but also know that it's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to sit in that and to honor that in the moment. I think some of this disappointment is coming from our Tower card. As those two major planets, Neptune and Saturn, head back towards Pisces, it might feel like some of the ground that we have gained is kind of crumbling away, and that's where that disappointment's coming from. It's not crumbling away, it's just regressing a little bit in order for us to work through some stuff so that we can move forward. But it feels really towery and like things are falling apart. But trust that they're not falling apart. They're just taking a pause while we go back to deal with some other things. And then last but not least, we have justice. That Venus square with Saturn and Neptune is reminding us what we can and cannot endure within relationships, and calls into question whether we should be enduring that much at all. So definitely check in on those and only accept what you deserve. And where you can't do that, make a plan in order to get those things that are meant for you. Anyways, my loves, that is my reading for this week, and I'll see you in a different space and time.